Spread love, be love. Love Browne is the founder and co-creator of All Love Kauai, proud participants in the self-love revolution. All Love is not just a brand, not just a movement, not just a lifestyle. It's a new way of being. Our only job in this life is to take care of ourselves. The rest falls into place when we do that job. And here to tell us all about all love, self-awareness, and self-mastery, from the beautiful island of Kauai, my friend and sister goddess, Love Browne. Here we go. That's what caught my eye, was just this whole self-love, and I just absolutely fell in love with your message. I mean, for you to come up with this whole concept of spreading love through apparel, it's just like you hooked me right there. Can we go back to the creation of your Love Shack?
Yes. So we kind of got off on the tangent of how so I was in Costa Rica, then came back. Mom went back to my aunt's, and it was my time to kind of wrap my arms around my mom again. And so my partner at the time was just like, well, what about Hawaii? Because Costa Rica clearly was off the mark now, because just needing to be a citizen in the healthcare. Like, my mom wouldn't have been able to go there, with the health needs that she had. And so, but when he said that, it was, again, that no hesitation, no reservation. It just felt right. And I was like, okay. And he started looking into jobs, and within a week he got a job offer, and we flew over. And as soon as I got off the plane, my soul just felt at home. It just felt right. It was just this deep. Yvonne, I didn't even know that Kauai, first of all, I didn't even know that Hawaii was more than one island. I thought that was it. And so when he got the job offer for Kauai, it was like, oh, well, where's Kauai? And so we Googled it, thank God for Google. And we looked into it. But honestly, even in doing the research, Kauai chose us. Mm-hmm. I can't say that we chose Kauai, because I didn't even know about Kauai before he got the job offer. Mm-hmm. It was like Kauai chose us, which I deeply, feel is true, just because of everything that's happened since I've been here. And also knowing and seeing that a lot of people try to come here, and if you're not supposed to be here, it doesn't work out. It just doesn't work out. It's a small community. There are like 70,000 people, like residents on the island. And it's not for everybody. No. And so I honestly feel like I was just supposed to be here. And everything kind of orchestrated in the way that it did for me to be here. And just that's kind of how it worked out. And how we started the Love Hub was actually, again, another one of I never had this initial intention of, I'm going to start an apparel line. I'm going to start. It was a culmination. First, I knew I wanted to share self-love. And I had started making these little booklets. And, first I was just going to give out the booklets that just had like tools about breathing and meditation and conscious eating and yoga asanas and, the tools that had helped me cultivate self-love. And then one day in meditation, it was like, no one wants to just go. You're not a Jehovah's Witness. No one wants to just walk around and hand out this booklet. It's just not. Man, no, that's not going to be very effective. During that time, I watch a lot of like documentaries and studies. I'm just an avid student of life and learning. And so I had come across some of Professor Emoto's stuff, and he's known for his water studies, which I didn't even know until just a couple months ago that he has a foundation here in Kauai. Didn't even know that, yes. And I'm now meeting with the board of directors for his organization synchronistically, and we're collaborating on a project coming up, which that's a whole nother, blew my mind. But he's known for his water studies, and the one that inspired me and I had that aha moment was he had 2 jars of water. He taped the word love on one, the word hate on another, and then froze them. Mm-hmm. Then he observed the crystalline formations under a microscope. Well, the jar that had the word love was completely symmetrical, pretty much sacred geometry. The jar that had the word hate was very little like organization and cohesiveness and no symmetry at all. And it was just that moment. It was like, wow, well, our bodies are how much water? So what we put on our bodies, you know, with intention and awareness will have an impact, an effect, even if it's just on the cellular level, which is actually, for me, the most important, because the deeper the change, the deeper, you know, the alignment is, then it can really take root and manifest outward. So it was just, again, a series of just meditations. It just kind of like one dot was connected to the other one. And I was like, that's it. Self-love shirt, like self-love on the shirt. And we're putting it on our bodies. And, you know, this solves a problem. Apparel is not, it's easy to talk about a shirt. Oh, I love your shirt, Yvonne. Where'd you get that? Boom, instant conversation starter. Where it's talking about our, you know, our problems or our issues or maybe our insecurities and things, that's really not that easy to talk, especially with strangers, about. So apparel was like a safe and easy way to create these conversations. And so self-love was the very first shirt that was born. And then you have to go through the whole business part of getting your GE license and getting set up so that you can become a vendor. And so then I'm like, well, what is my name? What's the name of the company going to be, the brand? And then again, you know, going through like all these names, souls and bodies and souls, and da 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 da. And I was racking my brain. And one day I was just like, stop thinking. Just stop thinking. Just let it come. It's going to come. And I was in a conversation, you know, with a friend, and I was saying something. I was like, you know, it's all love. And it was like, that's it. I was like, it's all love. What is it? What are we? It's all love. And so all, and that was it. That was how all love became. And that's what it is. And it's really now have grown and evolved from 2 years ago to where we are now, tremendously. When you met me, we had grown. We had the tiny home. Before that, I was just a pop-up tent at craft fairs and art walks. And but all of is really my vision of the world and where we're coming back to. It's like, you know, a new way of thinking, a new way of speaking, a new way of sharing and caring, a new way of giving and receiving, and just loving and understanding, like, because we are all love. That is our true nature. And it's a new way of being, but it's actually a return to an original way of being. But it's new for us where we are at this moment on the planet. But it's, you know, it actually is an old way of being. But that just didn't sound the same. An old way of being, a new way of being.
It's our essential truth.
Yes,
our essential truth and our essential being. I totally get that. And as we are born, we go onto this journey to adapt to all these different experiences that we have in our environments. And some of us had to go through really rough ones, and other ones, we all have different experiences. Mm-hmm. But I agree with you. At the end of it, it's all love. And that is our true essence. And finding our way back to it, or even allowing ourselves to go back to that and giving ourselves permission to go back to that. That's what this is all about, right? So I love that you are, that you found a way to open that gateway through a very, like you said, easy to talk about conversation with apparel. You know, like, as when I met you, I was drawn to not the tent with the t-shirts. I was drawn to this. That was exactly what I saw. And I'm like, oh, I got to check this out. I got to go over there. And the bonus that we got to chat, because you weren't that busy, you were still setting up, was just bonus, right? For me anyways, so that I could hear what the story was behind your business. But I love it. And that is one of the reasons why I wanted to commit to bringing your line into and merge them into my businesses, and the Lotus Temple specifically, because the Lotus Temple is all about resources for love, self-love, self-care, and being just in good nature and nurture with your own self. And I think All Love Kauai needs to be part of that. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Because your message too, like I have this in front of me, because I cannot wait for your website to be up, by the way. Your website needs to be up sooner than
I know. I'm working. It's in the works.
Get everything ready. You've got the photos. Like for anyone listening right now, follow Love on Instagram. The photos are amazing. Like whoever your photographer is, great shots every time.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
The message, spread love, be love, like it's not just a brand, it's actually a movement, and it's a lifestyle. You have everything ready to go. I just cannot wait to help you spread the word of what it's all about. And the amazing t-shirts, like you can see behind you right now, you have just the All Love one, and then you have this self-love one that I have on. Yeah, you have some really great stuff. So do you have an idea yet when your catalog is going to be ready?
So right now we're in the flux of the summer kind of rush, because here in Kauai, it's very tourism based. So summertime is super busy, and then the winter months are super busy. So we're preparing to launch the website probably right around the end of August, the full site with the full line. But we are going to be launching within the next 3 weeks our site that's going to have a more basic selection of what's available.
Yeah,
because there's, what'd you say?
Like that catalog that you sent me, that PDF.
Yes, it's like that, with our staples, our self-love, the love is dope, the healthy, wealthy, and wise, but not in every color combination that we offer, just because we have, Yvonne, honestly, so many people are like, is the website up? Is the website ready? Is the website up? I want to order. Is the website up? And just having also that work balance, and I also have, my mom still kind of on my plate, and just also have a business coach now, and she's just helping me get set up operationally to be able to handle the growth so that it's sustainable. Yes. This is something that I want to be sustainable. It's close. It's my passion. It's close to my heart. So I'm not rushing it. Because I'm just letting it unfold, very organically, but like I said, sustainably, because, if I put the website up, and once we do with the PR, she's adding a PR component, the orders that will come in, we have to be ready. So I'm getting my team together, doing training, getting everything completely organized so that when we hit the button, we can have as little stress. We're anticipating every, possible opportunity and threat that may come up. And so that fully ready, just without adding any extra stress, or there will be some stress, but minimizing the stress, because that is also part of my self-love and my self-care. Because I want to be able to still be this bright vessel who is here and able to share love and able to be present, and just not so busy doing the business aspect of it. And so,
the hustle anymore, girl. We're not doing the hustle.
Not doing the hustle. So it's all, Yvonne, it's all happening. And for anyone that's listening, really trust it. Trust your process. Trust. There is divine orchestration and divine timing. Like, you'll know the things that you need to do, but then also relax into that ease of that when you're doing what you're supposed to do, everything is going to unfold as it should, and it's going to happen in the right timing. And trust that, because it may seem, you may be getting pulled from here and there, do it now, open this, or, you got to get this done. And it's just like, you got to listen to your deep inner knowing. And that's what the cultivating, the meditation, and the spending time with ourselves, so that we know what's coming up from within us and what's coming from out, from outwards. And yeah, I kind of went.
I think that is such a beautiful message, especially for the Freedom Seeker show, because one of my strongest visions for the LEAP program is to teach women to do exactly that, to allow for things to happen organically, but more importantly, to trust their inner voices and create a space where that creativity and that intuition and that intuitiveness can actually live and come through more freely and more easily. When we're hustling and when we're in automation all the time and in autopilot, you know what? I can't come up with a great analogy right now, but it's like, yeah, it's like the universe is trying to send you good stuff, but it's literally like blocking off with all the busyness. Like we're swatting.
We think the busier we are, the more effective, the more we're doing it. Actually, it's the reverse. When you can slow down, the more still that you can become, the more you can just move with ease. And it becomes this beautiful dance. And it's just great for your nervous system as well. It's just like, and that's where you have the trust, not leaning on your own understanding, like really trusting, because there's infinite possibilities. When we trust and we work and we co-create together with the divine, there's infinite possibilities versus when we try to control and we know exactly what we need to do, where we're going to go, what we're going to get. They always say, have a plan, and the universe will laugh right at you. You know what I mean? So you do there's certain things. I'm not saying that we don't plan and that we don't have an overarching, vision and picture for where we want to go and what we want to do. We set that intention, and we do take the practical steps that are needed to crystallize those things. But then you keep that space open for the magic to happen. Speaking of magic, we're now carried in the HeArt. The Grand Hyatt here. A friend of mine was the GM of the spa there. And so she was like, oh, I would love to get your stuff in our spa. So we did. Within 2 weeks, they sold out, had another order. The GM for the whole spa for the Grand Hyatt came in and was like, who's doing these shirts? Like, I love them. Like, I just love walking past these shirts. And so now we're going to be in all of the Hyatts throughout the Hawaiian chains. These are things like I couldn't have even planned, you just, and letting it unfold and just showing up. Our biggest job is us.
Yes.
That's our biggest job. When we take that job seriously and we're committed to that, everything else, it may sound cliche and it may sound hokey pokey, but I can just say I'm a living testament of it will unfold the way it's supposed to unfold, and you just showing up. That's your job. So whether that be waking up, making sure that you're doing your meditation, making sure you're having a moment, the time for you. That's our job.
Yeah.
That's our job. And then the practicalities kind of just fall into place.
And I can even see where this, using your example, where this is really important, because let's suppose you weren't looking after yourself, love, and let's suppose you were really busy, worried, and stressed out about how many T-shirts or apparel items you would sell this year. When that opportunity came around with the HeArt, and they approached you, and you wouldn't have been able to likely show up as the love that you really are because you are all stressed out and worried about how many sales you're going to make, then there would have been a disconnect for the buyer, really, for the HeArt. And they wouldn't have extended that offer. In my program, we talk about it's not what you sell that people buy, it's why you sell it. And I think your brand and your reason for why you do what you do is a great example of that. And even further than that, it's really important that someone who has taken on a mission like yours, that you take care of yourself, because that is your job now. Like, you are your brand. You are what it is that you do. So if there's a disconnect, people are going to notice that.
It's not even going to. Yeah, because I'm not here to sell anything. I'm really here to share. And so once you switch into, oh, I have to sell, that's a whole different game. That's a whole different, you know, that's why I left Wall Street. I couldn't do that. That doesn't work with my nature, you know. And so you have to, that's the job, you. And you show up being fully present and being your beautiful, most magnificent goddess self. And
you know what other
the magic.
Yeah, I agree. And I just realized one of the things that I think you have done for me, unbeknownst to you, is so I come from a financial industry as well. That's my background. That's been my education. That's been what I've been doing for 15 years prior to switching into Lotus Consulting. And you know, so often coming from that masculine world, or that, you know, those hustle driven ideologies, I think, oh my God, I've fallen off the deep end, and I've just completely gone the other way. And, you know, I'm now all like, what did you say earlier? Like, it may be
the
all
hokey pokey,
whatever. But hearing you say that gives me reassurance that A, I'm not alone, and B, it can be done. You know, we have a bigger purpose, and I'm going to highlight in this video what you said about the only job we really have in this world is to show up as our best selves and to take care of ourselves. That's our only job. And if we take care of that, everything else will take care of itself, including, you know, how we're going to generate the resources to continue on doing our work. Because that's what it all is at the end of the day. It's not sales. It's a sharing and receiving, and the giving and receiving.
Because this is heart work. And I like to do the HE lowercase and then the big ART, you know, heart is this is what we're here, is to bring forth from our heart. And then, you know, we just have to call it work because we're born into a society where we have to work. Yeah. You know what I mean? But really, before society became as industrialized, and even if you look at tribes that have not been civilized, like, there isn't this, you have to go and do this work. Of course, you might have to go and farm and do things for food and, you know, build your house and things that for practical. But other than that, like, the rest of the system is a bit artificial. You know, and so just unlearning, we have to, it's a lot of it, the self-love and the self-care is also unlearning so many things that have just been so pushed on us and tried to be ingrained in us through, you know, culturally, religiously, through our families, and just unlearning that and getting into, and that's what the meditation and the self-love, getting into with our truth and what is really, you know, because it's all within. It's like the little seed that turns into a tree. Everything you needed was already within. We already have it. But yes, we do need the sunshine. We do need the air. We do need, you know, it all works together. So choosing our people, places, and things, what we choose to lend our time and our energy to, will nurture that. But it's all within. That's, again, just to highlight, that's why we're our biggest job. That's why we're our,
right?
What'd you say?
It's all a process.
It's and it's, guess what? What it's a process that what?
Oh, what's the end of it? I don't know.
That we can trust.
That we can trust. Is that
yes.
what it says the whole way? We trust. So
it's
love.
It says a process you can trust. Yeah. Self-love on the front, and then the back says a process you can trust.
I love that. It's actually my favorite part of this t-shirt. It's like a tattoo on my back. That
And it's so funny now because as we're growing, I was down in Poi Fu the other day at the shopping center, and I saw 4 people with All Love shirts on, and I knew immediately because the back, like going down, I was like, oh, there's our shirt, there's our shirt, and it was almost like so surreal. It's just like, wow, like it's just honestly still blows me away that this just started from just the initial seed, and also I would like to share with whoever's listening is it's good to go back to what your intention is with what you want to do and getting clear and crystal clear on what the intention is, because when the intention really comes from the space of love and to give and to share, that's when it all works out. So it's like to see that intention to share self-love and what it has blossomed into. This was nothing that I sat with my little notebook with a little plan and it's like, yes, I'm going to be so clever. And it really just unfolded in this way. And I think if I could say anything to attest to that, was really just the intention and wanting to share that. And when that's the case, all the other pieces, end up. And of course, we're people, I know you, I feel like I can safely say you're a sister goddess who operates in excellence. So all the other practicalities are going to come. I see your website. It's amazing. All of the other things, they're going to come and they're going to be great as well. But you don't have to have all the answers and have all of that figured out to start. And that's why I love that you're called Leap, because you do have to just take that leap. Take that leap. What is it burning within you? Take that leap to share it. Take that leap to cultivate it, to build upon it. And the rest, will work itself out.
And don't forget your reason or your intention. Don't forget.
Yes. Don't forget your why.
I mean, you have your why surrounding you every day, all day.
It's hard to forget.
Hard to forget. You have a suggestion or a tip for us, for anyone, to how they can cultivate that why, how they can remind themselves every day?
I would say to remind yourself every day, I would probably have it somewhere in my home or my space that I'm going to see every single day, written out. And I would probably affirm it to myself every day. I am a vessel of love. I am here to spread love. I'm here. Those are the affirmations that I just say on a daily basis. So just affirming that. And then whenever you have, like for me, I have these bracelets that I give away to everyone who does make a purchase. And it says, what would love do? Well, it says WWLD. And I wear it every single day. And so no matter whenever I'm having a moment where I'm upset, I'm overwhelmed, I'm feeling stressed out, or I'm angry, I just pause. It takes a minute, pause, take a deep breath. For me, I say, what would love do? Do I need to have the last word right now? Do I need to be right? Am I trying to do too much? Let me just sit still for a moment. Whatever that question, whatever it is that'll bring you back to that. Why am I doing this? What was my purpose? Yeah. Oh, right. I wanted to encourage and inspire other women to believe in themselves and to love themselves. So am I loving myself? Let's just be gentle. Let's get back into the ease. It's going to work out. Am I trying to be too in control? Am I trying to strive for this outcome that has to happen now? That's most of the things that stress us out. We want it now. We want something to be manifesting now. You know what I mean? Because we have it in our mind. We're so in our hearts and we're so passionate. And why isn't it happening right now? Yeah. I have a beautiful friend and she stepped into her full goddessness, and she also does coaching, and she does kind of like energy work and intuitive readings. And when she first jumped out, she was just a bit nervous. She was like, am I qualified to do this? Like, we're qualified, and, but me knowing her, I'm like, you're totally qualified. And, but at first she thought she had to do everything. I got to get the website. I got to get this, all these things. And I was like, no, just start talking with people for free. Just start talking with your friends and family and blah, blah, so on and so on. And I just share that it's been almost a year now. And now she's going to have her first retreat. And she has just grown leaps and bounds And there were moments when we talk and it's just like, oh gosh, I haven't had a client in 3 weeks. You know, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm just like, just remember why you started. Remember why you started. You know, it's not always, maybe there's a deeper work that you need to be cultivating right now so that you have more to give. You know, just remember why you started. And when you remember why you started, you don't want to give up when it gets tough or when, because faith is believing in what you can't see. If you have to see it to believe it, that's not faith. So it's having that faith in what you can't see it right now, but knowing that it's right there. And as long as you do that main job, which is working on you and showing up, it will soon be, you know, the tangible reality. And so I just mentioned that because I'm just so proud of her. But there were so many moments where she doubted herself. She thought she wasn't in the right space. She thought, you know, am I crazy to think that people even want to hear what I have to say? Mm-hmm. And so just that remembering why, you know. And now she's about to have her first retreat and she's getting paid her value, you know, that she's bringing to the space. And I'm just so happy for her. And, you know, had she given up, she wouldn't have been, you know, been here. So it's not always easy remembering the why.
It's not. But when you have a friend like you who, or a community even, like, you know, I'm a big fan of not just a fan, I'm a big believer in building community, surrounding yourself with the people that will catch you on those days when you are falling or when you are just going in that self-doubt that you describe, because we all have them, especially as business owners. I mean, we do anyways as humans, but as business owners, we come across them because we are putting ourselves literally out there, so exposed, so vulnerable. And most of the time we're using the gifts that we have held close to our heart for a long time, and we hadn't trusted to share with anyone. So then to leap into doing that is a big step. And, you know, thank you for being such a rock for her and such a great reminder for her to just trust and just to go back to why she started in the first place. Because as a business coach, that's what we need to do all the time is to just remind people, why did you get into this in the first place? You didn't get into it to hustle. You didn't get into it to make money. You got into it because you wanted to change the world. So let's do that.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So sorry.
Oh no, I just wanted to say that is something that that brings a smile to my heart with what you're doing with LEAP and bringing women in intimate groups or close groups to go through this program, because you're giving them that. I'm sure that they now have this community that once they graduate and they go and move forward in their endeavors and their visions and their passions, they now have a group that they can call, and they have the same tools, the same understanding, and can be those rocks for each other, because that's really important. You know, back to the Pachamama, if I hadn't have been around people who were supportive and like-minded and just on the same journey, it just wouldn't have even been the same experience, and I wouldn't have even had such fortitude, you know, and confidence even. And because we all fall, like we're, you know, no matter how much we do our practices every day, we still going to have bad days. We're still going to have days where we just, you know, may doubt. And having that support is huge. So it's like you creating spaces for, you know, women to have that is beautiful. Yeah. I just want to acknowledge you and commend you for that.
It's such a new, relatively new concept for so many people, so many women. You know, the tribal women they can't understand that because they've had that, like it's part of the tribe, right? This is to have that alliance. But as we, like you talked about industrialization, as we become these communities that are really not integrated anymore, and we are all sitting with our technology, you know, on our own, it's become more than ever apparent that we need to come back into these tribal systems and just have community, especially for women. So my experience has been that this was, and why I say this is so new for a lot of women is because they've learned a lot of times that sisterhood doesn't exist anymore, that, you know, you have to compete with one another, or you have to outdo each other, you know, and really, I mean, the messages we're being sent through various medias, that's exactly the message, but that's not true. We do not have to compete with one another. We just need to embrace one another and support one another. And that's the only way we're going to regain our power as women. And so that's what is near and dear to my heart, is that equality and empowerment for the divine feminine. It's just so, so important. And that doesn't mean that I'm a raging feminist. I love men, and I love a lot of aspects of the masculine. They're just as important. But I do believe that we need to really come back to understanding what the divine feminine values are, and what we need to do. And sisterhood is most definitely one of them. Yeah.
Yes. Where would we be without our sisters?
As always, the best conversations happen after the episode on YvonneWinkler.com/The Freedom Seeker Show. So go there, leave a comment, and let me know what resonated most with you and why. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe to our email list and become a Freedom Seeker Insider. You will get instant access to an audio I created called The 5 Steps to Freedom Life, as well as some special content, exclusive giveaways, and some personal updates from me that I don't share anywhere else except maybe texting my BF.